Hello. How is everyone? My name is Michael, and as you can tell from the chat, my wife is asking where I am. Oh, there she goes. It's about time. You guys see that? Nicole Long. Yep. She's right over there making fun of me for being late. Okay, so who do we got? Hey, there is Cecil and Jeffrey, and there's Mike. Greetings to all. Got to see what is that? Got to see Magic S Staples in concert last night. Wow, great show. And she's who is that? She's 84. Oh, Mavis, duh. Mavis Staples. I'm not familiar with Mavis Staples, but at 84, I have to applaud anyone who's doing concerts at 84. Good afternoon, Barry. Sunny and humid in Fort Lauderdale. You know, Barry, I can't imagine what it's like in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in the, Daytona area, and it's unbearable. I can't, you guys notice I haven't posted an actual video in almost 2 weeks. I can't get out and film. It's too hot, humid. See, so wow, I remember old pop staples in the group. See, I don't remember that. Come on. There's Mike. Is Florida ever not humid? No, it's not ever not humid. There's my people. Want to say hi real quick?
Hi.
Piper and who?
Ellie.
Ellie. Where are you? Oh, that's Nicole. Where are you, Michael? I'm right here, Nicole. I'm reading. Hola, boys and girls. Oh, that's Lyle. Hey, Lyle. How are you, bud? Hola, yeah, man. Staples, singers, incredible. I got to check them out now, Mike. Hey, there's Travis. I just texted Travis a few minutes ago. I'm like, Travis, don't forget my live stream. All right. I love you.
Love you. Yummy.
Bye, Ellie. Yeah. It is the devil's armpit at the moment. Florida is just excruciatingly hot right now. Kansas isn't much better. No, I don't know that there is much better anywhere in the U.S. with this heat wave we're having right now. It's ridiculous. Hi, I'm new to the world of Super 8 and I want to develop my film at home. Do you have any tips for getting there? Yes, I have lots of tips. I'm not sure what I should call you. Hashtag. I will call you hashtag. First of all, thank you for popping into the stream. I really appreciate it. There's Mr. Butch Magnum. Greetings from Arcadia. We'll get into a few of those tips. I have 212 videos on my channel now. If you're going to do just black and white, get a Lomo tank, which will do 50 feet, the UPB-1A. A couple $100. Might take a month to get to you. I don't know where you're located, but that's step one. Black and white film's really easy to process. Once you learn how to load the Lomo tank, there's a little learning curve there, but once you get that figured out, it's a breeze. It's just like doing, I don't know if you've ever done still film, but it's no different than still film. It's just takes a little longer to figure out how to load those tanks. But I do have a couple of videos on loading those Lomo tanks and how to get the Super 8 film out of the cartridges and everything else. So type in Lomo if you're on an actual computer, not an iPad or a tablet or a phone, because you can't do it on those. But if you're on a computer, if you're on my home page on YouTube, hit the little magnifying glass where the row of selections are. It's right past About, and just type in Lomo, and you'll get a couple videos on how to do just that. But that's what I would recommend for sure. Hashtag, you've come to the right place. Oh, thanks, Mike. Mike Piper. I'm kind of busy at work. There's radios. Someone left an ice cream bucket to melt. See you at 1:35. I think you're at Target, right? Yeah, that makes sense. I'll Take You There was a big hit from this. I gotta look that up. Hey, Rimjet's here. Awesome. So there's a couple things I want to skidus. It's going to be a fun little show, really fun, because this is something that is so dear to me, and that is the world of Super 8 filmmaking professionally. And I keep glancing up because I keep this is just back to the Florida thing again. We keep our thermostat usually on 72 in our house. And our air conditioner's not overly old. It's maybe 10 or 12 years old. And it's so hot and humid out right now that I've had to bump my AC up to 74, which is, for me personally, it's like sweltering hot. But I'm looking at my thermostat here in my office, and it won't go above. Typically, I can't get the temperature in my house below about 78. It's just too hot. Plus, I have 3 humongous oak trees that sort of surround my house, which are great for shade, but they're terrible for my roof. And I'm getting a new roof in the next couple weeks, so we had all the trees trimmed back, so now the sun just beams down on my house. Anyway, that's personal life. That's personal life 101. I keep mine. Yeah, I wish I could keep mine at 62. When Nicole and I, before we had kids, and we were in our little apartment. 66, 68 was around what we kept it. Lyle, if you can't get outside, I would definitely love a video about which camera are best for shooting indoor. Have you ever been so crazy as to add an extra glass element to your camera, wide or macro? That would be crazy. I have a ton of like, to answer your question, Lyle, I don't think I ever have. Maybe some, I wanted to add some extension tubes to my K3 to get some macro photography, but that's a good idea. I've actually been wanting to shoot some stuff inside. I just it's hard enough to light right here when I shoot with my I shoot 24 frames a second digital for my normal YouTube videos, and they take a lot of light. So using a Super 8 camera 16 inside, it's definitely something I'm going to do, and I have done in the past. It just takes so much light. So I haven't really messed with that a lot lately. The message boards practically shame me for even thinking it. So, yeah, but you know what? Treat the message boards as for what they are. The message boards are usually comprised of about 5,000 people interested in film, and I'm talking about film-specific message boards, and about 5 people that dominate those boards by being bullies or professionals or know-it-alls. And that's why I don't really go on them anymore, because it's just, I mean, if I want to laugh sometimes, because whatever you say, it's supposed to be done differently and better than the way you do it. So, you know, I don't really mess with message boards really anymore. I'll read them occasionally or search them if I have a question, but clean off your outer panels of your outside AC unit. That's going to help. The air handler? No, that's the inside. The big blower, right? Yeah, we get a lot of vines, those little ivy things that grow all throughout them, and I try to pull them out constantly, but I'm going to look at that now, Mike, that you said that, though. What is your room temperature? Oh, chemicals or room temperature? Barry, both. AC has been running here since July 1st. Keeps us cool here at 72. Well, that would be nice. Hey, there's Bonnie. And I didn't even want to read it, Bonnie. I just happened to glance down, and I know Bonnie's here, and I know she got a deal on something. So a Bell & Howell 16mm magazine camera for $30 a few days ago. Tell me you got it. That's probably about average for the magazine cameras, though. I will say that. I have 2 or 3, I think 3 of those Bell & Howell magazine cameras. That's not one of them. This is a Keystone, I believe. No, Mayfair. Yeah, Keystone Mayfair edition. But this is a little 16mm magazine camera. And I do have a couple of the Bell & Howells, and they're good little cameras. There's one right there. This is a nice little Keystone Mayfair edition. All right, I have strayed for 15 minutes almost. Take off the panels. You'd be surprised at how dirty the thing is. Reduces airflow when dirty. Do you mean take off the outer panels and it gets dirty against the inside of the panel there, Mike? But I will do that. Still for sale, might get, yeah, grab it, Bonnie. That's not a bad deal at all. I know, Bonnie is the queen of deals. All right, Mike, I'm going to check that out. Thank you. So, a couple really quick things before I get into the main event, and this is going to be a really fun show, I promise, because this is so exciting for me. I just love talking about Super 8 feature films. A couple things I tried, I just wanted to share with you guys real quick. This is a Morse processing tank for 16 millimeter and 35 millimeter. I know you guys have seen these tanks before. They take where you spool from one side to the other consistently, and you got to really, you know, build up your muscles. But I don't want to flip this because these little things just pop off. These are just beads I drilled out. You know, these tanks that you, they just popped out. As you wind, see there? And it winds the reels inside. I've done videos on this before. Let me see if I can find that bead, or if not, I'll find it later. But they take these really nice stainless steel metal reels, and it'll take 16 or 35, kind of like the Patterson deal. But anyway, black and white. I've done a few rolls of black and white in here, and they come out, I would say, as good as the Lomo tanks probably, but as good isn't good enough for me to warrant using this. I want better. The pros, there's a couple of pros and cons to this. It takes a lot less chemicals than a Lomo tank. For 100 foot roll of 16 millimeter in a Lomo, it takes minimum 2 liters of chemicals. In this, it takes minimum 1 liter. And 1 liter will just overfill the top of the film. So what I did a lot of black and white, and then I did an experiment with an ECN2 film. I don't remember what it was, 200T maybe or something. Excuse me. But I tried ECN2, and as you all know, ECN2 has remjet. Well, these are not designed for remjet films. These were designed for, I think, field use for like news gathering, where they would quickly develop their film, maybe even in the trucks, I don't know. Within an hour of shooting, they've got their finished film. I don't know how they dried it, but and they were for home use as well. But I thought I would try some E6 in here. Now, the problem with using ECN2 and E6 and these kind of tanks is you really have to multiply the time. So for E6, at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you have to run your first developer for 6.5 minutes, and I increase that as my chemicals get older, so 7.5 minutes, sometimes 8. You really need about triple it when you use one of these. So now you're running it for a minimum of 20 minutes. So I tried it. Long story short, I tried it, and it was a huge disaster and failure. I got images. They were awful, so bad that I'm not even doing a video on them right now. I may revisit it. But in all fairness, my chemicals had already been through, they were 2.5 months old, and they had already been through 5 rolls of 50-foot rolls of Super 8. So, because you can only do 50 feet of Super 8 with 1 liter. And it's so expensive, it's like 50 bucks for a 1 liter kit of E6 chemicals. That's why I was hoping this would work, to save on, cut down on expense, because I've never done E6 in my big 100-foot tank, because it takes 2 liters, and that's 100 bucks for 2 liters of chemicals, and I don't shoot a lot of ectochrome, so I may never, I don't know, it just goes to waste. So I was really had high hopes for this. Came out miserable. It's extremely dense, very dark, super, super grainy. I scanned it anyway, and it's just miserating looking. I almost put, you know, one thing on here, just one photo, but I didn't because it was just so bad, so I decided not to. Yeah. Disaster. I don't recommend doing E6 in one of these tanks. This is the roll that I shot. It was Ectochrome 100D, but it was the older stuff, 7285. You guys know that stock, right? Yeah, well, live and learn. Where am I at? Hey, Certain Exposures is here. What's up, what's up? Lots of turning. Yes, Cecil. I think I guesstimated what I call a cycle is going from one side to the other side. So 2 complete 100-foot turns, to me, this is my definition, is 1 cycle. And I think I did about 40 cycles. So about 90 or 80 or 90 times, I don't remember exactly, back and forth. And it takes a long time too. So yeah, it's a pain. Have you ever talked about C-mount lens repair tools? I need to open up a 25mm and attempt to remove fungus. However, this thing is tricky. Clam to open. I haven't talked about that, and only because I don't do a lot of that, but I have opened a few lenses. Yeah, I know it's best to have a spanner wrench, and I have one, because usually there's a ring that has 2 little slots, and you unscrew, If there's not, sometimes I even bought a set of those rubber things that are round, that they're different diameters that you kind of push and twist so it grips them, so you can unscrew. But I haven't gotten into a lot of actual repair or disassembly. I think because I don't want to ruin other people's equipment. I do it myself for fun, but I'm not really that good at it. Hey, there's my brother. Good morning. Wait, what'd you put? Good morningfternoon. Nice. Or morphternoon. Living Naughty. That's my brother, guys. He's got a cool channel too. He does a lot of fishing. Mike, certain JIS screwdrivers and yes, I have one of those JIS screwdrivers. That's the Japanese one, right? Yeah. Yes, and I have a nice kit of tiny screwdrivers. I should show you real quick. You guys would like this kit. You guys probably have them. So I bought this, probably on Amazon. I don't remember. I've had it for a couple years, and I've used it. You can use it for all kinds of good little repairs. It's called the, I don't know, Kaisi K-9126 126 piece kit. I don't know if you guys aren't going to be able to read that probably, but I'm going to show you. Open it up, and it comes with a magnetizer slash demagnetizer. I don't know why I'm doing this. Somebody mentioned tiny screwdrivers. There's the model number of the one I have. But look at that. You know, they're not like, you know, Panavision quality. They're not Aeroflex tools, but you know, for what I use it for, and as little as I use these, it's got the little suction cup. I think that's for like replacing iPad screens and stuff. The little guitar pick things, you know, to get under and hold them. Little brushes, and you know, your screwdriver. Right? Look at that. You just pop one of the bits out and you screw it like a drill. It goes in and tightens just like a drill would. Great little kit. And I just recently pulled it back out again because of a C-mount lens that I'm going to show you really quick, and then we're done with all my off-topic junk. Anyway, great little kit. It has all kinds of bits in it. The perfect tank for Mark Jenkin. What, these? I'm guessing you're talking about? Rimjet? Oh wait, I'm missing. Okay, certain exposure. When you're home developing 16mm film, which part of the process potentially adds the most scratches? Well, I would say all of the processes do, but for me, I shoot, process, and scan everything myself. But if I'm being honest, I would think the drying process for me, I use Kimtech or Kim wipes they're no lint wipes, and as I'm spooling by hand, because I hang them 100 feet, I hang it to dry, and as I'm spooling it, I'm wiping it. So in other words, my film is hanging, right? And I'll have a wipe, and this is junk film now, by the way. But I'll have a wipe in my hand, and I'm just going like this, and I have the wipe here, like this, just to get any outside or residual dust off or anything like that. But about every time I'm done, or I get my hand, you know, get 5-6 feet, you want to fold that wipe again and do it from a different part of it, just in case you are pulling a piece of grit or something across your film. It's rare. It doesn't happen that often for me, but I guess if I had to pick one part of the process, that would be it for me. That was, you know, the most dangerous or most apt to give you scratches. Still questioning if I should get it or a package of 9 8mm cameras, including a Beaulieu. What Beaulieu is it? Is the 1008, Bonnie, or the 11? There's another one that's not 1008. It's similar, 1018 or something like that. I wouldn't mind having one of the lower end Beaulieus. Flying, oh thanks, Codex and Hector. The screws are indeed tiny. Also, this thing is locked like a steel trap. I have a few of those. I have a bunch of Palard lenses for the Bolex, and they are in rough shape. In fact, one of them I had it completely disassembled, and the last element, I just couldn't get something apart, and I couldn't get it clean. It was pitted so bad, I tossed it. It was, I'm telling you, I don't throw camera anything away. This was so beyond what anyone could do for it. You'd need a, you know, like a steel wheel to grind the stuff off of these lenses. What E6 kit did you use? I used the one from FPP. I don't know what they use. It's the liquid kit, the 3-part, not the 6. Use lighter fluid or nail polish remover. I have used lighter fluid before, and it works good. And you also want to use, I think, initially you can use peroxide to get the fungus off, but I think you want to use lighter fluid, like Mike said, to keep it from coming back. Who am I missing? Brother brought me a 1960s Acme lit movie light. Looks like an old car headlight. Yeah. Jeffrey, I have a few of those still, and let me tell you, you could fry eggs on those lights. They are insanely hot. Standard AA Beaulieu. Just a standard AA. Well, if it runs, Bonnie, that might be worth the $40 in itself. I have Ilford's 35mm stills, black and white coming, black and white kit coming. I've ordered. Figured it's the best way to dip my toes. Yeah, absolutely. Learn it once you master 35mm still film, you can definitely process movie film. No doubt about it. The difference is keeping the movie film separate, not touching itself. Settle down. Trying to keep it separated. It's easy with 5 feet of 35mm or 120 film or something like that. But with movie film, and you got 25 feet with AA or 50 feet of Super 8 or 100 feet of 16, you have to keep 100 feet of film from touching together. So that's the hardest part about it, I think, is learning the tanks. Saw someone on Reddit develop ECN2 as slide. That could be a fun Super 8 experiment. Yes, that could be. I also want to try developing, I think I've talked about this before, Ektachrome slide film, not with E6, but I homebrew my own ECN2 chemicals. So I saw it somewhere by somebody. They did it on still film, but I've never seen it done on movie film. But you use black and white as a first developer, then you wash, you re-expose. Now don't do this because I have to recheck all the instructions. Re-expose to light manually, not chemically like you do in the E6 kit. Then, as your color developer, you use your ECN2 and then fix as normal, bleach and fix as normal, and it's supposed to reverse it and make your Ektachrome a slide film, just like the E6 process. I can tell you it would be quite a few more steps, but a ton cheaper. So that might be, now I think about it, yeah, that might be something that's coming up soon. Must be 225. Is that radios? I got the parade footage shot on that Vision 3. Woohoo! Vision 3 50D, the best film ever made. I would have thought the loading unloading would be the scratch area. Well, it might be for some people. Mike, I hold the film by the edges when I'm loading it now. So there really isn't touching anything. When I'm spinning, I'm holding the film. I do it a little differently, and my workflow changes. But when I'm loading, I'm spinning the film onto the spiral, and I'm actually holding it by the edge now. So I don't even touch the flat side of the film, really. Yes, please do, radios. All right, I'm also working on version 2 of my DIY video tab. Version 1 was a really inexpensive SD board camera that cost me about $5 or $10, maybe 15. This one was a little more expensive, but not overly expensive. And I was experimenting, and this is 1080, and I'm not looking for stellar results. I'm just looking for framing. But it's an off-brand, high-year. But I want to do a video on this eventually when I get it figured out. But I was experimenting with this 8mm TV lens, Now there's C mount and there's CS mount. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the difference. That is a C mount lens. That is a CS mount lens. Can you see the flange difference, the height difference? So the threads are up here on a CS mount. On a C mount, they're down here, and it's like 17.5 millimeters from your element, or from your stop point here on a C mount, and it's about 12.5 millimeters on a CS mount here. Both the same thread pattern. So if you want to turn a C mount into a CS mount, you would just simply screw on a 5 millimeter spacer. Now that is a CS mount. So this is an 8 millimeter TV lens, just an off-brand. I've had this for years. You can't read that, but it says 8 millimeter TV. And I put that on there, and it was really close to being perfect on my 1014 XLS. I still have to figure out how I'm going to connect it to the viewfinder, but it wasn't exactly right. So I bought this, and it came in a couple days ago in the CS mount, and it is a 7 to 22 millimeter manual focus lens. It's manual focus. It also has it's manual exposure as well. This is auto everything pretty much. This is manual everything pretty much. And it's a zoom lens from 7 to 22 millimeters. Now, I know it's not going to be perfect. I can already see there's a little funkiness on the lens, but I don't really care about perfect. I'm going for framing. So this is a start, kids, right here. We're going to figure out how to get that attached to the back of my camera. I'm going to make as many adapters as I need for different cameras, and we are going to be well on our way, hopefully, to another successful DIY video tab. Stay tuned. I don't remember how much this camera was. It wasn't like 80 bucks, I think. But it's not a terrible camera. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Okay, so we're finished with that. It's got all the cables and wires. It even has a remote with it, this camera. So stay tuned. I'm going to do Video Tap version 2 soon. My first version was done 2 years ago. Okay, guys, we are 30 minutes in, and I haven't even started my discussion, my cool discussion yet. You guys are going to like that. We're going to have to fly through them kind of like we did our books. Remember the books? Okay, where are we at? Let's see. I will send the footage. Yes, I got to use my Rex 5 and try. Oh yeah, the Rex 5. I'm dying to see what that looks like. Would you recommend getting a roll of FOMA R100 16mm to use to test my H16? Here in Europe, it is half the price of Spain. Yeah, it's definitely cheaper now. It's old though, Bonnie. Right? Is that old? I am not over. I love FOMA Pan 35mm, like FOMA Pan 100 and 200, probably some of my absolute favorite film in black and white. I'm not overly familiar with FOMA's 16mm stuff. R100, is that color or black and white? And if I'm not mistaken, they don't make that particular one anymore, right? Is that older film or is that new? If it's new, I would highly recommend it. If it's the stuff I'm thinking of, it's really old, and it's not really that great. You should upload your footage to YouTube. I, for one, am always interested in seeing film tests. Yes, Rimjet. I may. Are you talking about from this roll right here? It's really, really bad. Terrible. I don't have the hard drive hooked up to this laptop right here, or I would pull up a still, but I'm telling you, it was hard to even see it. I successfully restored my Lenovo ThinkPad. Oh, congratulations! Got a few I still need to send to be processed. Get them out. I can see the gaffer's tape solution. Yeah. I may end up having to do that, Mike. I don't know yet. I bought little flanges and different things, and I don't know, it might be like a rubber boot or something, like inner tube material, you know, that kind of just, I'm not positive yet what I'm going to do, but something will get it right. And FOMA only make, okay. Well, then, yes. I haven't personally shot that, but Bonnie, I would highly recommend it then. I love Foma black and white. I love it. So, yes. $80. That's a quarter of an expired run. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Lyle. Yeah, don't get us started. Don't get us started on what some people are asking for expired, old, past its freshness date film now is ridiculous. Okay, I got about 6 films. Yeah, get them processed. I have shot Foma R100 standard. If developed right, the results are nice. There you go. Cecil knows about R100. I think I've seen some of yours, Cecil. It's just other projects getting. Oh yeah, me too. All right, so check this out. I want to talk about. We all love Super 8. We all love 16 millimeter. Did you know that there's actually quite a few feature films that were shot on Super 8? I bet you can't guess what one of my favorites is. I did a whole video on this one. It's not even listed on my number 1 here, but I'm going to go through these. I have 15 of them listed right here, of the ones that I know for sure, that I did some research on, that I've actually been aware of for a long time. And if they're available anywhere, I will let you know. Killer. 1988, Tony Elwood, shot in North Carolina. It is available for purchase. I get nothing from any of that. He did send me a mug and a t-shirt because he's super cool. But it is a really fun, campy, super low budget, Super 8 movie shot in the late 80s by Tony Elwood. And it's available on Blu-ray and DVD on his website, that is sansperf.com. We are not Sans Perf on this channel. We like perforations. He uses digital now, but I won't hold that against him because he did a really good job on this. Killer is my all-time favorite Super 8 movie. I have that both on VHS that I've had since it came out, 1989, TNT Entertainment. You there? And I have transferred this one to digital, but I also have it on Blu-ray, as you can see right there. It's just a fun, really cheesy, campy, all the things you love about Super 8 feature film. Runtime is about, I don't know, 75, 80 minutes. Standard for low budget horror. I don't remember the exact runtime. 81 minutes. Highly recommend it if you're interested. Sansperf.com. Again, I get nothing for that. It was a big influence on pushing me towards cine film as opposed to 110 film or still film. Okay, number 1 in my list. These are in no particular order, by the way. I don't own this because I don't think it's actually out yet, but it is called, and when I'm done with these really quickly, medium quickly, I want to get, if you guys know of any more, because I want to write them down and I want to research them. Dead Community Guild, probably one of the cleanest, neatest looking Super 8 feature films that I have seen a trailer for. And I say I've seen a trailer, I think it came out in, I think they filmed it in 2022, last year. But I don't think it's actually out yet. And it was done by a fella named Emil Inc. I can't remember where it was shot. I believe in Texas, I believe, but don't quote me on that. Again, I have a question mark next to it because I don't think it's out yet, so I don't think you can see it. Take a deep breath. However, you can watch the trailer on YouTube. So YouTube search Dead Community Guild and you'll be happy. It's got Eric Roberts in it. You guys remember Eric Roberts? He's been in about 4 million movies. Julia Roberts' brother. But he is in that project, shot entirely on Super 8, and I'm excited to be able to see it one of these days. 19 watching, only 7 likes. Boom! Punch that like button. Thank you, Jeffrey. NIN Film Projects. NIN Film Projects. Saw someone selling 3 rolls of Super 8 with sound and selling it for $30. But that's probably about right, maybe even high, Bonnie. Super 8 sound film is going to be Ektachrome or Kodachrome, and those are both really hard to use nowadays. Not impossible, but they're hard to use. Jet bending I didn't put down here, Cecil, because I forgot about it. But I have it. I own it somewhere, and I forgot about it. And I'm going to put it down right now, but I don't know that you can watch it anywhere. And I think that's Roger's jet bending. I think that's Roger from Movie Stuff's film, the Jet Benny show. I can't remember what year he did it in, 85, 86. I know it was in the 80s. Yeah, it's catching on now, Mike. Jet Benny, yes, that's Roger Evans directed that. He is the owner of Movie Stuff, the company that does the scanners. And he sent me a copy of it a while back, a couple years ago. Okay, we're going to get into others here in just a second. So you guys know about Dead Community Guild, Killer, Game of Survival. This is very, very not well known. And as far as I know, it only ever came out on VHS. The director is Armand Gazarian. Armand Gazarian. He is still around. This was done in 1989, and I've had this movie on VHS since about then, maybe early 90s. I have also transferred this since to digital, because this one's getting kind of rough. It's a former rental. I worked at a video store back in the late 80s, early 90s, and was able to pick this up when they closed. Game of Survival. They're trying to survive kind of a post-apocalyptic time. It's almost Mad Max-like, kind of. Very fun movie. I wish that they would remaster it and put it on DVD, because that would be super cool. It's well done for the time. But if you haven't seen it, these are expensive on eBay, $60 to $80 for the VHS, because they're just OOP. They're not in print anymore. Anyway, that's you can get those on VHS on eBay. Where am I at? Oh, Lost Tribes. How about that cover? Huh? Boom! Yeah, I got this when he first did it. This was done in 2001, right? Yeah, 2001 by Matt Pacini. It's only about an hour long, but I think he just copied this for me and sent it. I bought it when it was first coming out. I don't think it's anywhere. I don't think you can see it or get it anywhere now. You might be able to find a trailer for it. I actually, only 2 films on my whole list of 15 have a question mark next to them, because I could not find anywhere to watch them. I did since transfer this to digital as well, so if I want to peek at it I can, but it's a fun little Super 8 film. It's pretty well done. He went on and he did a 16mm film as well, Matt did, and I don't know him personally, but he shot it I think on the CP16 if I'm not mistaken. Interesting little film. Let me see where I'm at. Orgra from 1983, a French movie. I got to write that down. I don't want to get too far, because I'll never catch up. Orgra. I get to check that little French film out. There were some foreign films that I wasn't overly familiar with, so I kind of left them off. But foreign to me. I'm in the States. My favorite Super 8 film is called The Deadly Mantis, found in Super 8 form at a flea market from before college. Wow. Pow pow. Was it shot on Super 8 or transferred to Super 8? Because a lot of movies were put on Super 8 after they were out. But if not, that does sound familiar. Let's jot that down. The Deadly Mantis. I feel like that maybe was, I don't know, maybe it was shot on Super 8. Thank you for that. I assume he used a BU4000S. I don't know what he used, to be honest. And if you're talking about Killer, no, I don't think he did. I think he used a, he told me at one point, but I don't remember. It wasn't. It was like a Sankyo, or it was Chinon, I think. Yeah, Bonnie, I have a couple Disney films. I have a bunch of films from the early 90s that I shot on Super 8. Disney stuff is pretty cool, though, on Super 8. Oh, Filmboy24. I got the Logger 8mm camera in person. Shout out to Omni and Kinos Rentals of Finland. They are very friendly and have a great. Wait, you're not talking about the Ogmar or certain exposures or Logmar? Yeah. Wow. Really? Super 8? You say 8mm. I think you mean the Super 8 one, right? I would love to do that, to shoot with that camera. They didn't make very many, I know that. Let's see, what am I doing? Oh, sorry. I'm so far behind, guys, I'm sorry. I'd love to do a list of these films. Yes, I would too, Mike. I want to keep a running list of these films. A lot more 8mm for rent. They are planning to post a video test soon. Rentals on YouTube. Okay, thank you for that info. I'd love to use a Logmar just to try it, and I would probably send that film in for professional processing. I meant non-film projects, computer antique photographs. Yeah, you have a lot, don't you? I miss the mom and pop video stores. I do too. I worked at one years ago, but I don't even remember the name of it. But they had cool names too. Blockbuster. Could go to Blockbuster as a kid. I worked at one before Blockbuster was around, I think. But Blockbuster was fun. Cecil, I thought I was the only person who owned Lost Tribes. Oh, you own it too. Nice. I remember when he was talking about it in a forum years ago in the early 2000s, and I bought one. I don't remember what I paid. I mean, it was 20 years ago. Couldn't afford to switch to DVD. Yeah, you're talking about Blockbuster. Yeah, radios, they've gone. Never understood why people saved VHS movies until now. I know. Some of them, like, I mean, Game of Survival, I wish he's still around, but I don't know that he owns the rights to this anymore, this director. I wish it would go to DVD. It's a fun movie. Hey, there's John. Hey, buddy. Thanks for popping in. VHS. It's pretty gruesome, Mike. It's a slasher. Well, that's my kind of film. I love that. Nice to not miss a stream for once. Woohoo! Everybody say hi to John. NI5EI. John is way easier than NE5EI. I mean, I'll call you that if you want, but Ogroff, the Mad Mutilator. Woohoo! Oh, did you find the title? What is that? Oh, I clicked it. Oh, I don't want to leave YouTube. Whoa, what did I do? No, go back to YouTube. What am I doing? All right. Oh, Nick, yeah, that's on here. Actually, I don't know if it was on Super 8, but it cost a couple of dollars. Okay, pow, I got you. A lot of them were transferred over to Super 8 for the amateur market, for people that had Super 8 projectors to watch their favorite movies. I had Night of the Living Dead on four or five 400-foot reels, and I ended up selling it, which I never did. But what a way to watch a movie, Super 8. 1988. Yeah, what did I put on here? Yep. Jorg Butgeri. John, hey Mike, I look up the Morse developer tank you had me about your email, but I'd say 16 and 35 only, the only different one that can hold 8mm. Yes. So John, this is the Morse. We talked about it a little bit earlier. That's what I was talking about. And yes, you are correct. Like I said in my email, it will only, stock ones will only hold 16 and 8mm, but there is a hack. If you remind me, send me a reminder email. Some guy made a little hack that he processes Super 8 in his, and it doesn't look that hard to make. It's non-destructive. But there's also a Russian version of these tanks, and they're even less expensive. Pardon me, less expensive, I think. They just don't have the re-exposure window on the front, which you don't need. And those process Super 8 and 16mm, not 35, natively. So I'll see if I can find one of those or look that up and see. But they come up a lot more regularly than the what was the Superior ones. I don't see those that often. They pop up occasionally. There's still a really cool video store in South Pasadena, California. Going in there, it's just like going to a video store on a Friday in the 80s. I would love to have another video store. Even if I didn't rent them, just to go in and just be in there and be surrounded by all that stuff. It is, Mike. It is 16 and 35 only. But like I say, there is a hack. I should post a link to it. It's not my idea, but somebody did a hack, and it's non-destructive. It looked like it's not very difficult to do Super 8 in one of those as well. Saw a movie called Road of Death. It looks like 16mm film, but it was shot on 35. Whoo, 16 can look like 35. I have silent Black Hawk films. I have some Black Hawk films. My nickname is Nisi, but it was already taken. Hence, oh, I got you. I know I'm probably saying that wrong, right? Nisi. Are we talking strictly about movies shot entirely on 8mm or films that shoot certain? No, 100% Travis Super 8. There's one of those alternative Morse tanks on eBay now, but only one reel inside. Yeah, that's no good. It was the most half-assed movie I'd ever seen, next to Invasion of the Blood Farm. That's an interesting name. How do these work? From what I can see, there is no large spot. No, Nisi. They're back and forth tanks. They're very labor intensive, and they're literally, you crank one side, your chemicals are in there, you crank one side, and it takes, for a 100 feet roll, it takes about 26 complete rotations to get from one side to the other. As soon as you get to that side, you start cranking this side. And there's just these little spirals. See the bottom, as you turn, see there, it just turns these spirals. And you simply spool from one to the other, back and forth, a whole bunch of times. That's the entire premise behind these tanks. That's it. They're not ideal, I wouldn't think, and they're very labor intensive. Like I was saying earlier, I did a roll here in E6, and it came out terrible because you're not really supposed to do color film in those. Man, Screw Tank's just giving me a bucket. Remjet. Yeah, that's the way to do it. A bucket. All right, so next on my list. This was done by somebody that I don't own it. I do own it. I got it, but it's only in digital form. It was done by somebody that was in one of the forums, and he was talking about it. And he said, "Hey, I shot this movie on Super 8. It's called How the Sky Will Melt." It was done in 2015, and his name is Matthew Wade. And I got to tell you, it's not terrible. It's an interesting. He did a good job filming. The transfer is not bad. There's not a ton of dialogue, but there's some, and he did a good job getting it matched up, synced. So check out, it's $2 if you want. I think you can do the trailer on YouTube. He has a website, and it's literally howtheskywillmelt.com. Again, none of these, I'm not affiliated with any of these films. I'm just giving you information. Howtheskywillmelt.com, and he charges $2 to download and own the film. I'd say that's a pretty good price. If you haven't heard of this one, you're not a Super 8 fan. I'm sorry. This film was shot in 1983 by Mark Pirro. Somebody put it on there right now. Mark Pirro did about 3, and I got them on here, that I know of, Super 8 feature films. He shot them in Burbank, I believe. Whoa, did I just give away part of the title? This is called 3, 2, 1. Nobody got it. It's called A Polish Vampire in Burbank. And it stars the recently deceased, if I'm not mistaken, Eddie Deeb. And it's a funny little film. It's corny. I think his sister takes him out on the town or something like that. I haven't seen it in years. You can pick it up. It's currently streaming for free on Tubi, or you can get it on DVD on none other than eBay. I used my giant lens Canon 1280. Oh, I love those cameras. Okay, that's number whatever. The next one is also, I'll give you the Pirro ones. Interesting title. Not my title. Curse of the Queer Wolf. I think it's an LBGT. Pardon me for not remembering, but you know where I'm going. 1988, shot entirely on Super 8 film. It's currently streaming on Tubi and available on DVD on eBay. Curse of the Queer Wolf. Interesting title. And the last one has a equally interesting title, also by Mark Pirro. It was a follow-up. It's not a sequel, it's just another one. 1991, Mark Pirro, Nudist Colony of the Dead. Now, I'm only mentioning these are feature films. They're full-length movies shot on Super 8. That one is on Amazon for $3.59 right now, or you can also pick it up on DVD on eBay. There, that's Mark Pirro's catalog. Let me go back to this. Sorry, guys. Okay. Another interesting title. 1996 by Sarah Jacobson. Anybody know the name of this one? 1996. It is available currently on Tubi. And it's part of Sarah Jacobson's, there's a short film that precedes this feature film. I think it's about a half an hour long. The entire film is 2 hours. What am I trying to say? When you click on her title, it's going to play for 2 hours. The first half an hour is a short film that she did, and it's succeeded by this film called Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore. Check it. It's on Tubi, and it was shot entirely on Super 8 film, and it's a feature. Watermelon Woman? Interesting. Probably shot on 16mm. Okay. All right. Next up. This is one of my other favorite movies. Super 8, 1989. If you're not familiar with this filmmaker, you need to look him up. He's super talented. I don't know him personally. I think we're Facebook friends. J.R. Bookwalter. The Dead Next Door. Now this, coincidentally, was, when in its VHS days, was packaged with Killer for one of their, I don't know, it was a studio that was doing it or who actually did it, but I have a flyer where you buy both of them together. I don't know that the two directors are, you know, like best friends. You know, I'm not even positive they know each other, but this is also a full feature film. It's very campy, it's very low budget, and it's very well done by J.R. Bookwalter. I believe it was one of his absolute first, and this is Anchor Bay, by the way. Pretty well-known distributor. It's a zombie, sort of zombie apocalypse movie. There was an investor in this movie that he wasn't able to share at the time of its making because they wanted to keep that quiet. That investor's last name is Raimi. You can guess what his first name is. I don't know if maybe they put him on the actual cover now, but no, I don't think him on here. But Sam Raimi had something to do with the backing. Yes, it was Sam. With the backing for this movie. And it was really well done. It's a good movie. The special effects are fun. They're very 80s. They're all practical. The gore and the blood. Very practical movie. Fun. Check it out. It is currently eBay, DVD, Blu-ray, and on their website. J.R. Bookwalter, who directed this, I don't know if he owns the site. I think he does. Makeflix.com. Make, like I'm making a cake. Makeflix, Flix.com. That's where you get a lot of these sort of cheesy, underground, low-budget horror films and stuff like that. I think Charles Band from Full Moon Pictures, I think he's on there as well. I think Fred Olen Ray, who's done tons of like exploitation and horror movies over the last 40 years. He sells a lot of movies on Makeflix. Makeflix.com. Again, I get nothing for it. Shivan, how are you? Where can I find cheap Super 8 or 16mm film stock? You know what? If I knew, I would get it myself. It's very impossible almost to find anything cheap when it comes to film anymore, sadly. Yes, Mike, most of them are all horror. Horror was like the schnizzle for low budget and Super 8, especially back in the day. How the Sky Will Melt is not horror, by the way. And I don't think, well, Dead Community Guild, I haven't seen it, but it's thriller horror, I guess. Yeah, I guess most of them are horror. Ozone, Attack of the Redneck Mutants. I just like that they're all 100% Super 8. And I love the 80s. I grew up, you know, in my teen years in the 80s, and I had so much fun. And a lot of these were done in the 80s when Super 8 was really, you know, booming. That was Matt Devlin in 1986, currently streaming on YouTube. And I think it's Matt Devlin that's actually streaming it on YouTube. Not streaming, but it's available to watch on YouTube. Ozone, Attack of the Redneck Mutants. Interesting, huh? All right, and that brings us to what Travis was talking about earlier. Necromantic with K's. Nec, N-E-K, romantic with a K. Necromantic by George. I'm going to butcher the last name, but I'm going to do my best. Boutgeri. German, maybe? 1988. Very freaky film. I don't know. I think you can buy it bundled with another film on YouTube. But you can stream it if you have Shudder. I don't have Shudder, but you can. It is available on Shudder. And Shudder is, I don't know, like $6-7 a month. I get nothing from it. Charles Band's son sang the one-hit wonder, Wherever You Will Go. I did not know that. Huh. Okay, we're getting close. We're over an hour now, but we're almost done. Beasties by Stephen Contreras. Beasties. Like you're my friend, we're beasties. It was by Stephen Contreras. It was done in 1991, and it was done all on Super 8 film. You know that because that's what we're talking about. It's available for streaming or viewing on YouTube for free. And I think he is also the one that is hosting it. You might want to check that one out. It's pretty neat looking. I haven't seen all of these movies, but since I've done so much digging lately, I now want to see them. I want to see most of these. Bleak Future. I just like saying bleak. Bleak Future by B. Scott O'Malley. And I think that's Brian Scott O'Malley. 1997, daring. Although Super 8 was still really popular in the mid to late 90s, it was phasing out by the end of the 90s. 1997, Bleak Future. It's available on eBay. That I could only find it on eBay, but it is on DVD on eBay. Water. Sleep Always. Like my oldest does. Sleep Always. That's the name of the movie. By Rick Paladoir and Mitch Perkins. They did it in 2002 on Super 8. Now, Mitch Perkins, I found out, has a YouTube channel. I believe he's an airbrush artist, if I'm not mistaken. And it's available for free to watch that movie, Sleep Always, on YouTube. Search the title. Type it in. That's it. I didn't realize at the bottom of my list. That's what I have. That is the 15 that I researched and was able to find, and I picked up a couple more from you guys. Are you guys familiar with any more Super 8, completely Super 8 feature films? Not documentaries, which I guess could be considered features, but I don't consider them features. I consider them documentaries, equally as entertaining. You have your to watch list now. Yes, you do, Mike. And you know what's funny? So do I. I'm going to revisit some of these as well. I do want to watch these again, just for a refresher. I have to turn that one sideways because it's just a black box. But you know, refresher. Oh, I want to show you one more. This is not Super 8. I put it out here. This was the original, his original cover art for a movie called Roadkill. You guys see that? Roadkill. This was done by Tony Elwood as well, the same fella that did Killer. But he did this later. I think he did this one in '91, I believe, starring Sean Bridgers, Andrew Porter, and Deanna Perry. Now, you probably haven't heard of any of them except for possibly Sean Bridgers. If you guys look Sean Bridgers up on IMDb or Wikipedia, you'll see he's done quite a bit of work, and he's worked in a lot of good-sized films. I don't know if any of you are race fans, but he played. There was a movie. It was a TV movie called 3, I believe, when Dale Earnhardt died. He was Neil Bonnet. He played Neil Bonnet. One of Dale's best friends in that movie. He played in Nell. He was in Nell. Had a pretty good role with Jodie Foster. But he's been in a lot of good size. He was in a movie called The Woman. He starred in that, which was an interesting movie where he finds a lady out in the woods, feral. Sean Bridgers, you ought to look him up, but he does a really good job in this. This movie was shot in 16 millimeter. I believe it's on DVD as well, and I'd love to pick it up on DVD. I think they may have remastered it, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that one. And we just hit 1 hour and 6 minutes, and I know we go over sometimes, so we're good. The Calling. Radios, is that a Super 8 movie? Saw someone a few months ago who sold a full print of King Kong from 1933 on Super 8. Was that on eBay, Bonnie? Because I saw the same thing and I had my eye on it for a while. I love the 1933 King Kong, but I must admit the 77 one with Jessica, is it Jessica Tandy? Not Jessica Tandy. The one in the 70s was my favorite. But it's amazing what they were able to accomplish in 1933 with the effects. Does YouTube limit your live stream's length? They do not. The only thing that limits my live stream length, Mike, is my life. My daughters both start school tomorrow. They go back to school tomorrow. So we got to get them all ready to go tonight. What is her name? What was this star in what year? King Kong. See, now it's bothering me now. Pow pow. My favorite 16mm film is probably Stranger Than Paradise, a Jarmusch film. I have not seen that, but let me jot that down. I have to see that. What is that called? My favorite is Stranger Than Paradise. Gotta look it up. Stranger Than Paradise. 16mm. J.J. Abrams shot Super 8 feature film. Did he shoot a whole film on Super 8? I know he shot Super 8. I got to find out what it was then. Very slow pace. That's okay, you know. I'll just let it run. Found it now and it was not on eBay. It was a Swedish website, basically eBay, but everything in Sweden and everything is cheaper. Oh yeah, you got your connection, Bonnie. There was one on eBay, but I don't know what it ended up going for. I can't remember. You love that computer that you restored, Radios. Well, good. Good. Another Super 8. What was it? Russell, where on earth have you been, young man? But thanks for popping in. He didn't actually shoot Super 8, he just shot Super 8. You mean he shot the movie called Super 8? Fixing Fixing guitars. I have a guitar, but I don't know how to play. My wife bought me one about 10 years ago, a Yamaha. Nice acoustic. My daughter just bought her very own electric guitar. Took one lesson and haven't heard it since. The one here in Sweden did not even sell. Was up for $100. Wow, I would have snagged that up. I'm going crazy trying to figure out. I'm sorry. I know this is King Kong. I'm searching. King Kong, 1976. Jessica Lange. I said Jessica Tandy. Jessica Tandy is quite a bit older than Jessica Lange. The camera in Super 8 was a UMIG. Thanks for the stream. Pow Pow, thank you for popping in. Yeah, I don't know why it was bugging me trying to figure out King Kong. It was 1976, Jessica Lange. What an amazing, amazing movie. I know the 1933 is the original. I like to call the 1976 one my original. UMIG sound camera. I want to get another UMIG. My buddy Travis on here is the Celluloid Alchemist, has a UMIG Nautica. I should have snagged one. I saw one on eBay the other day. It was in perfect condition and sold pretty quick. But his ended up leaking. I saw some behind the scenes photos and an SR2 being used on Raging Bull. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd love to have an SR2 or SR3. I'd take an SR. All right, kids. That's all I got for you. Yeah, if you're watching this video down the road, like not live, like you know who you are, and you know of some more Super 8 films shot entirely on Super 8 film, and they're feature films, not just some parts of it are Super 8, put it down in the description. I'd love to know about it. I do have a guy that is shooting a found footage film. I've talked about it before, and he has a fundraiser, a GoFundMe or a Indiegogo, I believe. I'm going to put that down in the description, but he's putting a lot of Super 8 in the movie. It's a Mothman movie. You guys remember I talked about it? But it looks really cool. I did all the processing and scanning of the Super 8, about 15 rolls he's using for that. He's using Super 8 and VHS. He's shooting the main thing on digital, but a lot of the movie is Super 8 and VHS. It's called the Point Pleasant tapes. Keep an eye out for that one, because when and if we ever get to the point, I say we because I helped him with the film, whenever he gets it out, him and his partner, I'll probably talk about that a little bit, because it's an exciting looking little project. Posted about it leaking. Yeah, you saw that, didn't you, Nisi? I know. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know, and I don't know where it leaked. I don't think it leaked into the film compartment. Maybe, I don't remember, but that wasn't good. The thing was just probably first on the Swedish website and then updated on eBay after it did not sell. Oh, okay. I got you. Thanks for the live stream, Mike. Had a lot of fun. Hey, thank you, Barry. I'm glad you were here. This was a great short made in Devon. There was a great short where I'm from called Satan's Bite. It's just short but really cool. Russell, is it available to stream or to watch? Short. Satan's Bite. I gotta look it up. Okay. Is the term found footage only used for undeveloped film? No. No, it's just a term I made up for found film is what I call it. It's used for whatever anybody wants to use it for. Thanks, Mike. Always a great time. Smash that like button, everybody. Yeah, hit it before you guys leave. I appreciate it. And thank you, Jeffrey, as always. Thank you to everybody, by the way, that always shows up. God, you guys are awesome. I like this. I like this core little group of people that we have. It's just so much fun. Saw that at Straight 8. Yeah. Ramjet, awesome. I think it's on Vimeo. Okay, I'll check Vimeo. Quite a list you gave. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Lyle. Thank you, Mike. Okay, everybody, that's my time. I will see everybody on next Sunday, barring, any catastrophes. We will be back next Sunday for another fun chat, another goofy topic. Thanks. Caught the end. There's Rich. Thanks for popping in. Katie, hi and bye. Guess who else wants to pop in really quick? I always hear little feet. I'll try to send you some footage. Thank you, radios. Please do. See you on the next go around. Cecil. What do you say?
Bye.
Thanks, Lyle. Thank you to everybody. I appreciate it. I really do. Nisi, Olden, have loads of found film. Missed some. Great deal today, though. 2 50-foot reels from EXR to Germany. Yoo-hoo! I love found film. I'll be filming as we chat. Cheers, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Awesome stream. Yes. Yes. Nisi. Rimjet. Russell. Radios. Lyle. Cecil. Barry. Mike. Jeffrey. Everybody. Love you guys.